Hello friends, welcome back to Healthy Aging Hub. Today we're diving into a topic that's going to shock a lot of you, and it starts right here in your kitchen. Every single week, millions of us walk into the supermarket, grab a cart, and fill it with what we think are healthy foods. Whole wheat bread, low-fat milk, lean cuts of meat, yogurt with a big label that screams heart healthy. Sounds good, right? But here's the shocking truth. Many of these everyday foods, the ones you've been told are good for you, are actually the very things making you sicker, weaker, and older than you need to be. That's right. The foods you trust the most could secretly be the reason you've got stubborn belly fat, aching joints, or why you just don't feel as energetic as you used to. And this isn't just my opinion. This is something Dr. Ken Berry, a straight-talking, myth-busting family doctor, has been warning people about for years. He's exposed how the food industry plays a dirty trick. Take something cheap, process it, slap a healthy label on it, and then market it to people who just want to do the right thing for their health. But here's the kicker. After 50, your body can't afford those lies anymore. The wrong foods accelerate aging, mess with your hormones, drain your energy, and even increase inflammation that wrecks your joints and back. And the craziest part, you've probably got at least one of these foods sitting in your pantry or fridge right now. So in this video, while I walk you through the hidden truth, I'm also going to share what you should eat instead. Simple, real foods that will actually keep you strong, sharp, and young at heart. Stay tuned, because I promise, once you learn the truth about supermarket foods, you'll never look at your grocery cart the same way again. Now let's start with one of the biggest lies sitting on every supermarket shelf: whole wheat bread. For decades, doctors, dietitians, and TV commercials have been telling us, if you want to be healthy, switch from white bread to whole wheat. Sounds smart, right? Whole grains, more fiber, better for your heart. But here's the shocking truth. Most of what you're buying at the supermarket with the label whole wheat is almost as bad as white bread. In fact, in some cases, it's even worse. Let me explain. When you flip over the bag of bread, you'll usually see the first ingredient listed as enriched wheat flour. That's just a fancy way of saying refined white flour with a little bit of vitamins sprayed back on. The bread companies then toss in a touch of whole grain flour or coloring, slap the word whole wheat on the front, and sell it to you at a premium price. And here's the kicker. Nutritionally, your body treats it almost exactly like white bread. The carbohydrates break down into glucose almost instantly, causing a spike in blood sugar and insulin. For someone over 50, this is the fast lane to stubborn belly fat, joint inflammation, and accelerated aging. Dr. Ken Berry has been warning people about this for years. He often says just because something has the word whole on the package doesn't mean it's healthy. Think about it. If eating whole wheat bread was truly the path to health, would we still see skyrocketing rates of diabetes, obesity, and heart disease in people who eat it daily? The truth is, bread, whether white or whole wheat, is a blood sugar bomb in disguise. And here's another dirty little secret. The so-called heart-healthy label you see on bread packages, that comes from food industry lobbying, not from unbiased science. Studies have shown that 2 slices of whole wheat bread can spike your blood sugar faster than a Snickers bar. Imagine eating candy for breakfast every morning. That's basically what's happening when you toast that healthy wheat bread. So what should you do instead? If you want to age gracefully after 50, you've got to stop relying on bread as a daily staple. Instead, focus on real whole foods that actually nourish your body. Eggs, avocado, meat, leafy greens. These keep your blood sugar stable, protect your joints, and help you keep muscle on your frame. If you absolutely need a bread substitute, look for genuine low-carb or keto breads. Or better yet, learn a simple almond flour or coconut flour recipe you can make at home. The bottom line, whole wheat bread is one of the most common supermarket scams. It looks healthy, it's marketed as healthy, but for your body, especially after 50, it's just another fast-aging, energy-draining trap. Now let's talk about another supermarket health food that's been fooling people for decades: low-fat milk. For years, doctors, government guidelines, and marketing campaigns have told us if you want to lose weight and protect your heart, switch to skim or low-fat milk. Sounds reasonable, right? Less fat must mean healthier, but here's the shocking reality. When you strip the fat out of milk, you don't just take away calories, you take away the very nutrients your body needs to stay strong and youthful. See, nature designed milk with fat for a reason. That natural fat carries essential fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K2. These vitamins are critical for bone strength, hormone balance, and keeping inflammation under control. When the fat is removed, those vitamins disappear too. What's left? Well, watery drink loaded with lactose, which is just sugar, and sugar without the balancing effect of fat hits your bloodstream even faster. Dr. Ken Berry has said it bluntly many times: low-fat milk is basically sugar water with a little protein. Think about it, every glass of low-fat or skim milk is giving you a blood sugar spike, almost as if you drank a glass of soda. And after 50, when your body is already more sensitive to insulin and blood sugar swings, that's the last thing you want. Those spikes accelerate weight gain, increase joint inflammation, and speed up the aging process. And here's where it gets even worse. Many food companies actually add powdered milk solids back into skim or low-fat milk to make it taste creamier. Those milk powders contain oxidized cholesterol and other compounds that are inflammatory to your arteries and heart, so the product sold as heart healthy may actually be damaging your cardiovascular system. Now let's bust another myth. People often think, well, I'm cutting fat, so I'm cutting calories, and that must help me lose weight. But studies have shown the opposite. People who drink low-fat milk often eat more carbs and sugar throughout the day because they're left unsatisfied. Fat is what gives you satiety, that full, satisfied feeling. Without it, you're constantly hungry and constantly reaching for snacks. So what's the alternative? If you enjoy dairy, go for the real thing, full-fat milk, raw milk if you can access it safely, or minimally processed dairy like heavy cream, full-fat cheese, or plain Greek yogurt. These give you healthy fats, vitamins, and protein without the blood sugar roller coaster. And if dairy doesn't sit well with you, there are unsweetened nut milks like almond or macadamia that can work too. Just make sure they don't have added sugar or harmful seed oils. The takeaway: low-fat milk is one of the biggest nutrition scams of the last. It was marketed as a weight loss miracle and a heart protector, but in reality it robs you of nutrients, spikes your blood sugar, and leaves you hungrier than before. If you're serious about aging well after 50, ditch the low-fat myth and embrace real nutrient-dense foods the way nature intended. Now let's move on to another sneaky food hiding in plain sight: flavored yogurt. If you walk into any supermarket dairy aisle, you'll see shelf after shelf of brightly colored yogurt cups. They're marketed with smiling families, slim models, and big words like low-fat, digestive health, and high protein. Some even have a giant heart-healthy stamp right on the package. It feels like you're making the smart choice, right? A little yogurt cup for breakfast or a quick snack instead of cookies or ice cream. But here's the shocking truth: most flavored yogurts you find in the supermarket are closer to candy bars than health food. That's right, many single-serve yogurt cups contain 15 to 20 grams of sugar, sometimes even more. To put that in perspective, that's about 4 to 5 teaspoons of sugar in one little container. Dr. Ken Berry has warned about this exact trap. He often says, if your yogurt tastes like dessert, that's because it is. And here's where it gets worse. A lot of these yogurts are labeled low fat. Remember what we just talked about with milk? When the fat is removed, the food companies have to make it taste better somehow. So what do? They dump in sugar, artificial flavors, and sometimes even corn syrup. That means you're eating a food that not only lacks the healthy fats your body needs, but also spikes your blood sugar like a can of soda. And if you're over 50, those blood sugar spikes can be brutal. They lead to energy crashes, weight gain around the belly, increased inflammation, and even higher risk for insulin resistance, the exact opposite of what you want if you're trying to age well. Let's talk about another sneaky trick. Many yogurts advertise added protein. Sounds good, right? But most of the time that protein comes from milk powders or isolates, not from the yogurt itself. Combine that with sugar, preservatives, and artificial colors, and you've basically got a processed food product pretending to be a health food. And don't forget about the so-called fruit on the bottom yogurts. That fruit, it's usually sugar syrup mixed with a little bit of puree. It's not fresh fruit, and it's not doing your body any favors. Now here's why this matters even more as you age, your metabolism slows down, your insulin sensitivity decreases, and your body becomes less forgiving of sugar spikes. What you could get away with in your 20s or 30s now shows up as stubborn weight, achy joints, or brain fog. That innocent little yogurt cup could be sabotaging your day before it even begins. So what's the solution? If you enjoy yogurt, stick to the real stuff. Plain, full-fat Greek yogurt is a powerhouse food. It's rich in protein, healthy fats, and probiotics that support your gut health. And here's the trick: you can add your own flavor. Toss in a handful of fresh berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or even a few crushed nuts. That way you're getting natural sweetness, fiber, and real nutrition without the sugar overload. And here's another tip Dr. Berry often shares: don't be afraid of the fat. The fat in yogurt helps your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins, keeps you satisfied, and prevents those sugar crashes. When you choose full-fat plain yogurt, you're eating it the way nature intended, not the way a food corporation modified it to sell more units. So remember this: if your yogurt tastes like dessert, that's exactly what it is. Don't let fancy labels, bright packaging, or health buzzwords trick you. After 50, you can't afford to fall for food industry marketing. Choose real, whole, full-fat yogurt and flavor it yourself. Your body and your future self will thank you. Now let's talk about a food that almost everyone thinks is healthy, especially if you're trying to eat clean or lose weight after 50. Lean processed meats like turkey slices, deli ham, low-fat chicken breast strips, or those neatly packaged sandwich meats you see stacked in the supermarket fridge. They're marketed as the perfect choice, high in protein, low in fat, convenient, and heart healthy. You'll see fit people on the packaging, sometimes even the word keto friendly or low calorie stamped in bold letters. It feels like you're grabbing a smart option when you pick up that pack of turkey slices instead of bacon or steak. But here's the shocking truth: most of these lean processed meats are some of the worst offenders when it comes to hidden ingredients that speed up aging. Let's break it down. Loaded with preservatives to keep those meats looking pink, juicy, and fresh for weeks, manufacturers add nitrates, nitrites, and other chemical preservatives. While they may make the meat look appealing, they're not doing your health any favors. These additives have been linked to increased inflammation, digestive problems, and even higher risk for certain diseases. Dr. Ken Berry has called this out directly. Real meat doesn't need a chemistry experiment to keep it safe. If it comes in a plastic package with a shelf life of months, it's not real food anymore. 2. Oxidized and damaged fats. When meats are overly processed, the natural fats and proteins are often oxidized or altered. This creates compounds that put stress on your arteries and joints. Instead of nourishing your body, these processed proteins create more work for your immune system and accelerate cellular aging. 3. Sodium overload. Yes, your body needs salt, but the kind of sodium used in processed deli meats is not the same as sprinkling mineral-rich sea salt on your steak. These meats are pumped full of cheap sodium solutions to improve taste and extend shelf life. The result: water retention, higher blood pressure, and stiff joints, things that become much harder to manage after 50. 4. The lean lie. Food companies love to sell the idea that fat is bad. That's why you see labels like 97% fat-free or low-fat turkey breast. But here's the truth: removing natural fat doesn't make meat healthier. In fact, it makes it less satisfying. You lose the natural vitamins carried in animal fat like A, D, K2, and you end up hungrier later, often reaching for more carbs or snacks. It's the same low-fat scam we saw with milk and yogurt. So what's the alternative? The solution isn't to avoid meat, quite the opposite. Ken Berry and many other health experts emphasize that real meat, unprocessed, minimally handled, cooked at home, is one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat. Instead of grabbing those slimy deli turkey slices or vacuum-sealed chicken strips, buy whole cuts of beef, lamb, chicken, or pork. Cook them yourself with simple seasonings. Not only will you avoid the preservatives and chemical junk, but you'll also get the full benefit of natural fats and proteins that actually fuel your muscles, bones, and brain. For busy people, here's an easy swap. Instead of deli ham, cook a batch of chicken thighs or steak on Sunday and slice it yourself. Keep it in the fridge. You'll have real, nourishing meat ready to go without the hidden toxins. Bottom line: lean processed meats are a trap. They promise protein and health but deliver preservatives, damaged fats, and empty nutrition. After 50, when your body needs all the support it can get to stay strong and youthful, these foods quietly push you in the opposite direction, toward inflammation, fatigue, and faster aging. So next time you're at the supermarket and you see those neat stacks of plastic-wrapped lean protein, remember this: real health doesn't come in a package. It comes from real food, cooked simply, the way nature, not the food industry, intended. So now you've seen it. 4 foods that almost every supermarket claims are healthy. But when you dig into the truth, they're some of the worst traps you can fall into after 50. Whole wheat bread that spikes your blood sugar like candy, low-fat milk that's basically sugar water with the nutrients stripped out, flavored yogurt that's dessert in disguise, and lean processed meats that are full of chemicals and preservatives. The food industry has spent billions convincing you these are safe, heart healthy, and even doctor recommended. But here's the hard truth: these foods don't keep you younger, stronger, or more energized. They age you faster. They inflame your joints, drain your energy, and make it harder to control your weight, blood sugar, and health as the years go by. And here's what really makes me angry: it's not your fault. You've been lied to. For decades, we've been fed marketing slogans, not real nutrition science. Labels like low-fat, whole grain, or lean protein sound reassuring, but they're nothing more than sales tactics. As Dr. Ken Berry often says, if the label has to convince you it's healthy, it probably isn't. But here's the good news: you're not stuck. You don't have to keep falling for the supermarket scams. You don't need to swear off food or live on bland salads. The solution is simple: start eating real food again. Foods with one ingredient, foods your grandparents would recognize. Foods that don't come with a paragraph of fine print on the back. Instead of whole wheat bread, enjoy eggs, avocado, or a protein-rich breakfast. Instead of low-fat milk, choose full-fat dairy or unsweetened alternative. Instead of sugary yogurts, stick with plain full-fat Greek yogurt and add your own fruit. Instead of processed deli meats, buy real cuts of meat and cook them at home. Making these swaps won't just protect your health, it will give you more energy, clearer thinking, and stronger muscles so you can actually enjoy life after 50, not just survive it. Now let me ask you this, the next time you walk into a supermarket, will you see those shelves differently? Will you stop for a second before tossing whole wheat bread or low-fat milk into your cart? My hope is that you will, because once you know the truth, you can't unknow it. This is about taking back control. Control from the food industry that profits from your confusion. Control from the endless cycle of sugar crashes and inflammation. Control over how you age, because yes, your daily food choices really do determine how fast or how slow you feel the years catching up with you. And here's the exciting part, small changes add up fast. Swap just one or two of these fake health foods for the real alternatives, and you'll start to feel the difference in weeks, sometimes even days. More stable energy, less joint stiffness, better digestion, and even a clearer mind. That's the power of eating in line with how your body was designed, not how the supermarket wants to sell to you. So here's my challenge for you. Go through your fridge and pantry today, pull out these 4 foods, read the labels, see the sugar, the additives, the fine print, and then ask yourself, do I want this to fuel my body or do I deserve better? I think you already know the answer. Friends, if this video opened your eyes, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with someone you care about, because so many people, especially after 50, are struggling with weight, fatigue, and pain without realizing the food they think is helping is actually hurting them. You could be the reason someone you love finally sees the truth. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these foods do you still have in your kitchen, and what real food swap are you going to try first? I'd love to hear your stories. Remember this, aging is inevitable, but suffering doesn't have to be. Make better choices today and you'll feel younger, stronger, and more alive tomorrow. Until next time, stay healthy, stay strong, and stay young at heart.